Hello, good afternoon. It's time for the marketplace. I'm Charles Aite. Here are the stories coming up this hour. We have a report on how the cedi is heading for its best performance since 2017 as it loses only 3.1% in value to the dollar. Also, the UK government offers €450,000 to revive Ghana's local pharmaceutical industry. We have details on this story and what it means for Ghana's drugs sector. And later on, Royal Dutch Airlines, KLM, has been sharing hopes about the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement area. There is more as it celebrates 60 years of operations in Ghana. We have all these and more coming up shortly after this break. You're welcome to the program. Now, with barely less than 2 months to end the year, the cedi could be heading for its best performance since 2017 as it lost only 4.88% in the value to the dollar. Now, this follows a relative stability in the local currency for the greater part of this year. So far this year, the cedi has lost only 3.1% value to the dollar against 9% last year. Here's Courage Mate. He is a senior research analyst with Data Bank Research, explaining to us what exactly this means. We shall bring you that story shortly. But moving away from the cedi to other matters regarding the economy, based on the current trend, analysts are hopeful the cedi will end the year in this particular state. But beyond that, government is hoping to maintain fiscal stability and prudence in its expenditure moving in the next fiscal year. This, according to the Deputy Finance Minister, Kuku Kwarteng, is to ensure that investors are also assured of the fact that government is very much prepared in ensuring the Fiscal Council Act is implemented. Now, let's take you to the aviation sector, especially when Royal Dutch Airlines, KLM, has been very much hopeful about the Continental Free Trade Agreement area. This comes off as they also celebrate their 60 years in operations in Ghana. Let's listen to the Chief Operations Officer of KLM.
First of all, I'm very happy to see that that the agreement will take off on the 1st of January next year. As such, KLM is operating to Europe. Now, the agreement concerns Africa, but besides KLM, we have our partner airline, Kenya Airways, where you can operate domestic Africa. And again, by having the agreement in place, that means that local companies in Africa will benefit. Now, if you look at KLM, for example, what I said before, we connect Accra to the world and the world to Accra. We make it easier for foreign investment, foreign companies who want to establish here to make use of the trade agreement. Now, we can only help them by organizing transport.
Now, are we expecting any celebrations to mark the anniversary?
At this moment, I think each and every airline is struggling to survive. Last week, the third quarter results of KLM Air France has been published, and we made a loss of $1.6 billion a quarter in 3 months. Now, 1.6 in 3 months, that is more than 500 million per month. Now, if you go and calculate it per day, that is a lot. So at the moment, we are very careful in spending money. So I said I don't want to throw in any big parties or receptions because we have COVID, we have to take our social distance. So I think the benefit of something nice and to have something intimate is difficult because of COVID. At the other side, you can say, why don't you offer promotions and special fares and discounts? That would be in place, but at this moment the Africans cannot travel to Europe. You don't get a visa.
Now, talking about COVID, I mean, with the easing of restrictions, how has it impacted, perhaps positively, on your operations?
Now, it has impacted very negatively. At this moment, KLM Air France is operating at 20% of the capacity. If I look at Ghana specifically, the month of September. If I look the market, the tickets which are sold via the IATA agents in this country, September was 75% less than last year September. So simply the money is 75% less. KLM is doing a little bit better. We are at 72% less, so only 3% difference, and it is difficult.
From the aviation sector, let's now move on to the housing sector. Of course, when we mention housing sector, we do know the Joy Habitat Fair is coming up this Friday, and title sponsor for this year's event, EcoBank Ghana, is giving potential homeowners the opportunity to open a mortgage account at the Accra International Conference Center. Now, the move, according to the bank, is to afford customers a stress-free process in acquiring their dream houses during the event. This year's event, which commences on the 6th of November, is under the theme Affordable Housing Beyond the Rhetoric. Here is Head of Personal Banking at EcoBank, Kwesi Atobra.
Reducing housing deficits in Ghana through our own initiatives was something that was good. And that's what's different about this year's before now JoyNews Habitat Fair. It's now EcoBank JoyNews Habitat Fair. And if you're coming for the fair, we are not just going to talk about the mortgages and asset. We are bringing all the other products that we have on board as well. So when you come and you visit EcoBank, you can open an account there, and then you can request for a loan if you already have an account. Of course, if you are not our customer, then we would want to onboard you, and for you to become our customer, then we can also open up and let you know all the other things that are available.
You're also saying that you can be able to open an account right and there.
There and there. We have an account called the Express account. All you need to open that account is your phone number. So you onboard it right there. Then later on, if you want to upgrade to a full-fledged account, you can walk into any of our branches or even go online to ecobank.com and then complete an account opening form right from the comfort of your home. You can do all of that.
Well, meanwhile, the bank has also been providing some tips to middle and low-income earners on making a choice in acquiring a home. Let's listen to Regina Ofori from the Group Marketing Department of EcoBank Ghana.
The first thing for me, I was just telling my colleagues this morning, I think is the orientation about what kind of houses we need to have as a people, right? All of us grew up with the extended family. Most of the time where maybe our grandparents, let me use my grandparents, where was a extended family kind of system. And so you live in a house with so many people, and therefore you see the typical compound houses with a lot of space. We have gotten to a state where we are becoming more nuclear, so that communal living is almost not in existence anymore. It's you, your spouse, or you and your sibling. We need to think along the same lines when we are thinking about having your first house, right? If you went to rent a house, what kind of house would you be renting? It will probably be 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom with a living room. So if you are starting your life as a young man, as a young woman, and you want to get a house, it should be that same thinking. Where can I get a decent 2-bedroom house with a living room, good enough space that I can move around, even have some little parties and gigs with my girls or my boys if I need to. That is how you need to think. Once you think about it that way, then you come to EcoBank, and then we'll help you. We'll look at how much you earn. Then we'll tell you that given this amount of salary you take every month, this is how much we can give to you as a mortgage loan, and this is how much you pay monthly, and this is how long it's going to take you to pay. Now, I think the beauty of this is that it is not, sometimes it could be a fixed rate, sometimes it could be varied. However, when your circumstances change as a young man or young woman, then that can also change. So you can have your first home by the time before you are even 30. After 30, when you are advancing in your career or in your own business, and you want to have a second one, you have a second one, and then progress on that. Life is progressive.
I remember that all roads lead to the Accra International Conference Center this Friday, this November, Friday through to Sunday over the weekend for the JoyNews EcoBank Habitat Fair. You just don't want to miss out on this. So many deals you would want to check out on. Away from that, let's now delve into the cocoa industry, because the board chairman of Cocoa Board has announced that all is set to implement the Cocoa Farmers Pension Scheme for all cocoa farmers across the country in November this year. Hackman Owusu-Agyemang revealed that the scheme would not only care for cocoa farmers when they retire, but also guarantee the sustainability of cocoa production in the country, as the youth will be attracted to cocoa farming.
Since we took over, we've been working seriously on it, and with the pensions, National Pensions Authority, Regulatory Authority, we are working on it. Indeed, it's taking quite some time, because we needed to know that we don't pay the money to anybody else but to the cocoa farmers, and so therefore we needed to have if you like, a register of cocoa farmers and who does what. And we have just finished putting together, and we are also having a cocoa management system that we are also finished. It was launched by Mr. Digital last week. That means the vice president, he's the one, digitization is his baby, and he launched it. And then we are hoping that before long, before the end of next month, the president will also launch the Cocoa Farmers Pension Scheme. I think all the things done, we've got the members of the Board of Trustees, because cocoa farmers will contribute some amount, you take off a little from what they are paid for their money, and the Cocoa Board will also help with it. And the totality of this then would go to a Board of Trustees who will then manage it. And you have to make sure that you get one distinguished and serious people to manage the whole issue. Otherwise, you're going to get yourself into problems. And we had to always dot the I's and cross the T's and to make sure that they do it. So I believe that before the end of next month, and pretty soon, maybe earlier, the president will launch the pension scheme for cocoa farmers.
Well, Hackman Owusu-Agyemang also bemoaned the reliance on annual syndicated loans to pay cocoa farmers for over 20 years. He, however, wants a reversal of this trend.
It's a sad commentary that this nation, being a middle-income nation, no matter what level you are, we are not able to put together 1.3 billion to the extent that we have to go and always borrow. And it's not cheap. The last time, I mean, one time, sometimes the expenses and the expenditure and whatever becomes to in excess of $70 million. So I told them, I said it openly, and to some of your younger colleagues, that it's about time we put this together. And so now that the bank system has been cleaned, if the banks in Ghana cannot together put up 1.3 billion, then we are not doing too well. We must change our style as a people, and we must learn to save so that the banks will also have ability to learn. I have always been on the neck of the banks and saying that they are not fair to us. I mean, the risk they take is minimal, but the interest so high. And the interest they charge you sometimes has no relationship to the rate that the Bank of Ghana sort of does. So we need to reform all these systems. And I think that having said that, with the minister that we have, this minister, he thinks the same as I do. And then that we think we should be able to, as soon as possible, begin to mobilize funds within the country for this. I have no pride at all in saying that we've been doing this for 20 years. No, we shouldn't be doing that at all. We should, by now, be able to find the money and pay the farmers.
Now, the pharmaceutical market in Ghana is currently estimated at $600 million with a compound annual growth rate of 13.9%. However, local production supply only 33% of the national essential medicines requirement. In dealing with this particular challenge in the COVID pandemic, the UK government has signed a support measure for Ghana's local pharmaceutical industry totaling £450,000. There is more in this report. With about 38 pharmaceutical manufacturing companies, Ghana's pharmaceutical manufacturing is considered among the most vibrant within the ECOWAS sub-region. The coming on board of aid from the UK government is expected to make the drugs industry in Ghana more viable. Here's Development Director of the Foreign Commonwealth Development Office, Philip Smith.
We've also provided technical assistance for some of the policy discussions around the Ghana pharmaceutical development strategy. Ladies and gentlemen, in early 2020, when COVID emerged as a global health crisis, many countries were confronted with shortages of essential medicines. This was, of course, exacerbated by global travel restrictions, which in turn impacted supply chains for essential pharmaceutical ingredients.
The Trade Minister, Alan Tremontin, stated that the COVID-19 support will ensure that the sector continues to operate at optimal capacity, thereby reducing the projected job losses.
The support will ensure that the sector continues to operate at optimal capacity, thereby reducing the projected job losses. The support being provided to the sector includes support to pharmaceutical companies aimed at mitigating the impact of price escalation of APIs.
Meanwhile, Harrison K. Abuchiate, chairman of the Ghana National Chamber of Pharmacy, has challenged the pharmaceutical industry to take advantage of this aid.
This is a good opportunity to show investors that there's a market in Ghana, and this is the plan we have. Some people don't have those plans. We have a plan that if they can support us, first to get the facility, which is the enclave, then we go to equipment. We are thinking of training personnel.
The highlight of the support being provided to the sector, which includes support to pharma companies aimed at mitigating the impact of price escalation of essential medicines covering treatment and management of COVID-19 and other diseases. Also to support the Chamber of Pharmacy for advocacy during the post-COVID-19 crisis, among others. Now, the Business Development Minister, Dr. Ibrahim Mohammed Awal, has revealed that processes are underway to introduce a startup bill that will create a conducive environment for small businesses in the country. Interacting with the media after the 3rd Ghana Business Awards, he noted that a bill, when passed into law, will exempt startup businesses from paying taxes for up to 8 years. There is more in this report.
The startup bill, according to the minister, Dr. Ibrahim Mohammed Awal, will not only boost the growth of small businesses, but also make entrepreneurship more attractive to the youth, thereby broadening the nation's economy.
In the next few weeks, we are going to present a bill to Cabinet, a startup bill, where this bill will seek to provide tax credit, tax holiday for startups up to 8 years. So I want startups, when you start a business for 8 to 10 years, you not pay taxes. Essence to encourage young people to grow, plow back the profits and expand the business.
Talking about this startup bill, at what stage is it now, and what informed your decision to come up with this bill?
We say in Ghana, the small businesses constitute about 80% of it, and they contribute about 65% to GDP. But the startup economy is not the best in this country. One business startup, they don't last. The statistics show that only 50% of businesses go beyond their founders, and it's very bad. It means that out of every 100 businesses, only 15 survive when the founders exit either death or retirement. This is not good.
Speaking on government's plan for small and medium enterprises amidst the COVID-19 pandemic, Dr. Awal disclosed SME's mobile clinic will be introduced to visit and educate all operators across the country.
Because of the pandemic, we are going to start what we call the mobile SME clinic, where we'll send mobile business service services to all SMEs in the country. The first 3 months, targeting 1 million SMEs. Build their capacity so that they can get back to business, create jobs for the young people. We intend to generate about 10 billion cedis from this mobile clinic, because if we give these startups the training, marketing, pitching, branding, financial management, etc., they will to bounce back and create jobs for the people. So I want to urge everybody that when this mobile SME clinic comes, please patronize them. Already under the CARES program, government is providing over 2 billion cedis to support SMEs. And the mobile clinic for startups is also one of those initiated by government to improve the business environment.
A total of 72 awards were presented to companies and personalities for their excellent work at the Ghana Business Awards 9th. This saw founder of the Fidelity Group, Edward Efa, pronounced the Chief Executive Officer of the Decade. Jospon Group of Companies founder Dr. Joseph Siao Ejapon was also adjudged the Entrepreneur of the Decade. Goldfields Ghana's Chief Executive Officer Alfred Baku emerged as the CEO of the Year Private Sector, whilst Dr. Ben K.D. Asante of Ghana National Gas Company was declared CEO of the Year Public Sector. Vodafone Ghana picked the award for Brand of the Year, whereas Ecobank Ghana won the Company of the Year award, among others.
Well, and that'll be it for this edition of The Marketplace. I'm Charles Aite. Many thanks for watching.